Tracy is the community stakeholder I interviewed. She is a member of the Missoula community who not only surfed the wave in a raft one time, but likes to use the space for other recreational needs. She enjoys the accessibility for the wave, and even though she is not an active user of the wave, she still enjoys watching the community use it. Now I'm going to be talking about the Indigenous frameworks. Using an Indigenous framework for community practice allows us to understand the restoration of Brennan's Wave in a recreational way within the Missoula community. As Chino and DeBrune discussed in 2006, Indigenous perspectives do not treat stakeholders, infrastructures, and the river as separate elements. Instead, they focus on the relationships between people and the natural environment. From this perspective, Brennan's Wave is more than just a recreational hotspot. It is part of a living system that requires balance, respect, and long-term care. Restoration, then, is not simply about fixing what is broken. It is about repairing and strengthening the relationship between the community and the Clark Fork River. During the restoration phase, an Indigenous framework emphasizes reflections, shared responsibilities, and sustainability. Chino and DeBrune highlight that communities become stronger and more effective when they solve problems together. In this case, businesses and recreational users identified in the stakeholder report recognize the river as an active and meaningful part of the system. By placing the river at the center of restoration, the focus shifts away from purely technical solutions and toward environmental stewardship. Stakeholder interviews also reveal strong emotional and cultural connections to Brennan's Wave. These connections align closely with Indigenous values and lived experiences, ensuring that these voices are included in decision-making. This helps create a more inclusive and community-driven restoration process. Overall, this approach supports a more holistic and sustainable vision for Brennan's Wave and the Missoula River corridor. Now I'm going to talk about systems theory. In applying systems theory to the stakeholder analysis shows that Brennan's Wave cannot be viewed in isolation. Instead, it must be understood within the larger Missoula community system. Systems theory highlights the connections between recreational users, local businesses, city agencies, environmental regulators, and private infrastructure owners. Because all of these groups influence one another, restoration requires a coordinated system-wide approach rather than a single infrastructure fix. The stakeholder report reflects these relationships clearly. Different groups experience the wave's deterioration in different ways, whether through reduced access, economic impacts, or regulatory challenges. During the restoration phase, system theory emphasizes feedback, reflection, and adaptation among all stakeholders. Many systems are already engaged, including recreational users, business owners like Love Boat Paddle Company, city redevelopment agencies, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Each stakeholder is affected differently by the waves, demonstrating how challenges in one part of the system can impact the entire network. System theory also highlights the importance of feedback loops, environmental changes such as river flow and flooding. This all affects how the wave can be used. This in turn impacts recreational tourism and the local economy while there is a strong community interest in restoration. Systems theory shows that the interest must be effectively shared through communication, collaboration to create meaningful change. At the same time, challenges exist. Power dynamics and jurisdictional boundaries among governing bodies and private stakeholders can create barriers to shared decision-making.